Friday, April 5th, about 6:45 p.m., our sheriff's deputies in the village of Salem Lakes Rescue and Fire responded to a two-vehicle accident on Highway 50 about the 21,600 block. Upon our deputies' arrival, they found a 2016 Jeep Grand Cherokee rolled into a ditch, flipped over on its top, down into the swampy area, and a little bit further east was a 2018 white GMC pickup truck with one occupant in that one. The Jeep Grand Cherokee had 4 occupants in it, and they were all family. The driver of the Jeep who survived this accident is a Gerald Rizzo. He's 72 years old, of Kenosha. He worked at Chrysler. Also in the front seat that passed away was Dr. Michael Rizzo, and he was 67 years old, of Kenosha. In the back seat was Mary Rizzo, a registered nurse, 74 years old, of Kenosha. And also in the back seat was Dr. Vincent Rizzo, 76 years old, and a dentist, of Kenosha. As you can tell, they were very influential, well-known people of Kenosha, and it's with heavy hearts that all of Kenosha lost these 3 people. The operator of the GMC pickup truck is a Timothy Vanderveer. His date of birth is 10/12 of 78. He's 40 years old. He's from Beach Park, Illinois. I did see an address for Zion, Illinois. Timothy was transported to Freighter Hospital in Milwaukee, where he remains there and is being treated for injuries. He's currently being charged with 3 counts of reckless homicide, felonies, 3 counts of knowingly operating after revocation and causing death, which is a felony, 1 count of reckless injury, which is a felony, 1 count of knowingly operating after revocation and causing great bodily harm, which is a felony, and operating a motor vehicle under the influence, first offense in Wisconsin. Legal blood was obtained from our suspect driving the GMC that night. It's sent to the crime lab. We do not have the toxicology report back yet. We're still waiting for that. Timothy did have a prior operating under the influence and causing injury in Illinois in 2005. And just repeating, he was revoked in the state of Wisconsin. The Wisconsin State Patrol assisted with this and taking measurements on that evening. Our deputies and detectives, we had several there that night, all did a very good job of investigating, photographing, taking statements. The brother of our suspect, we did talk to him, and we found out that he was riding ATVs and shooting pellet guns that afternoon, and possibly, according to the brother, may have been drinking that afternoon or that evening. The 3 males in the Jeep were all brothers, and of course Mary was married to one of the family members. Earlier today I spoke to one of the family members, and I could tell that this is a heavy burden on the entire family. He just sounded exhausted. And the thing that he mentioned to me is the one thing they're trying to do. He doesn't even know the suspect's name. He said, I don't want to focus any of my energy on who caused this. He goes, our family's main goal right now is to just somehow make it through burying the 3 family members by the end of the week. So for the Sheriff's Department, this is our hearts go out to the Rizzo family, and many, many people in Kenosha know one or many more of the Rizzos, and this is a very difficult time for all of Kenosha. It is, I was told that what happened on that night, the Rizzo family were leaving the church, St. Alphonsus Church in New Munster. They went to the fish boil. I believe there were also other family members that in another vehicle ahead of them had left, and they were heading back east into Kenosha, home after an evening of going out for dinner. And the white pickup truck was seen driving recklessly just before the accident, and and was driving erratically, driving at a high rate of speed. We were told that it was estimated that this truck may have been traveling about 100 miles an hour when it struck the Jeep. And literally it ran directly into the back end of the Jeep and flipped it over and threw it into the ditch, causing 3 fatalities on Friday night. I'm trying to think what else I can think of off the top of my head. I guess I'm open for questions. And
Sheriff, can you tell us the relationship of Mary? Which person is she married to?
Mary was married to Vincent Rizzo.
Tell us about these doctors and their importance to the community and what a shock this is to Kenosha County.
Well, everyone I've talked to this weekend, truthfully the only one name that I knew this weekend was Mary Rizzo. I knew that there were brothers, they were all family related, and everyone who asked me about it, when I brought up the Rizzo name, everyone seemed to know somebody in the Rizzo family. And they didn't know who else was involved in it. But even this morning here at the Sheriff's Department, several members of the department said, that was my dentist, that's my doctor. They know their children. And I know that there are other Rizzos that are in the medical field and very prominent people in Kenosha. So this is, Kenosha's aching right now for the loss of these 3 Rizzos in Kenosha.
How did he have a revoked driver license in Wisconsin and yet was given a license in Illinois?
For sure I don't know, but I know that if you get your driver's license revoked, if you're from another state in Wisconsin, you have to reapply in the state of Wisconsin. So probably what he did is somehow he got revoked in Wisconsin. He never reapplied, even though he's an Illinois resident, so maybe he just never thought he had to reapply. But I'm truly speculating on that. Why he doesn't have a valid driver's license in Wisconsin, I don't know that.
Can you tell us about his history?
The only thing that I know at this time is that he did cause another injury accident in 2005 and he was arrested for drunk driving. That is the only part that I know of with him. Truly a lot of what I was focusing on today was talking to family members, and there's more on the Rizzo side. So a lot of the details will be coming up, I'm sure, this week as far as our suspect and more details. I know he's at Fredert. He was taken up right away on Friday, and
And just to clarify, so his incident from 2005, that happened in Illinois?
That's what I was told.
Okay.
It was a 2005 accident.
Okay. There was also, I looked in CCAP, there's something from 2007 that happened in Wisconsin. Is that why his license was revoked?
It could very well be.
Okay.
I really don't have a lot more details on what he did in Wisconsin.
Tell us what the witnesses reported to you. I mean, did someone actually witness the crash, or was it all just moments before?
I am not aware of any witnesses that actually saw the crash. People got there right after the crash. One of the witnesses I think they called in moments before and to alert us to this white pickup truck driving erratically. And the crash was just truly, I think, a few seconds after that, maybe a minute after that. Somewhere around the Paddock Lake area, the Breezy Hill, I'm not exactly sure, but someone did call in. Our squads were trying to go find the truck, and unfortunately found it already involved in an accident. So the truck was driving erratically. No one has seen it. No one saw the accident itself, but came across it afterwards.
Sure. Can you explain a little bit in recent memory? Have you ever seen an accident where so many family members from a single family were taken?
No. I can recall accidents with, I can think of 4 high school students where all were killed, but not in the same family. No, I can't recall a single accident where three family members were all in one single car accident and all perished. No.
Has the suspect been notified that, in fact, that these other people that he hit have been killed?
I don't know that. We sent up detectives, investigators to talk to the suspect this past weekend, and at that point he didn't want to speak to investigators. So what the driver knows at this point, I don't have that answer.
What evidence was at the scene that made you feel like he had been drinking?
Some of the rescue and deputies there could smell the slight odor of an intoxicant on his breath. But rescue was very attentive to all involved there. I know that one person, one of the Rizzos was pronounced dead at the scene. Two perished the following morning, on Saturday morning. I know that our deputies and rescue worked feverishly to keep them alive, and they did the best they could.
The press release indicates that there was a preliminary breath test. Do you know what the results on that were?
Not aware of any preliminary breath test.
Okay, was there any like alcohol found at the scene, anything like that?
I'm not aware of any evidence on the scene that showed like open intoxicant in the truck. I was not advised of any of that.
Is there any evidence that talks about the use of other intoxicants other than alcohol?
By the driver?
Yeah.
Not from what we've been told. If there were other drugs in the system, we'll find that out when the toxicology comes back from the crime lab. But as of this point, the only thing, we couldn't even do a field sobriety test on the driver because he was incapacitated at the scene. And they had, I know, they were working on him diligently at the scene. They transported him right away, and we went up there and started guarding him. We're still guarding him at the scene right now, or at the hospital right now. And again, we're waiting for the toxicology results to come back.
Was there a road rage incident or anything that precipitated this? Was he endangering other people prior to the crash?
The first phone calls that came in just prior to the accident was of this white truck driving fast and erratically. There's no indication of road rage, and the fact that he wasn't even close to anybody other than the vehicle that he struck, there's no indication of any road rage. I think what it appears happened is this: our suspect was driving at a high rate of speed, for whatever reason, drove right into the back of the Jeep, caused it to flip over and killed 3 people.
Do you have any dash cam video, mug shots, any pictures at all of the scene?
Of the scene?
Of the scene of this accident actually happening?
I don't think we have any mug shots because he's not been taken into physical custody yet. He's still in the hospital. I'm not aware of any. I've not received any pictures. I know we took hundreds of pictures at the scene, and I'm not aware of any that are available or have been printed out yet.
Dash cam, body camera?
We don't have body camera. Dash cam, maybe, but when I went there, the Jeep was truly down the hill and hidden in the cattails down there. I struggle to think that our dash cams would have picked up that Jeep. And the pickup truck, I think the deputy had to cross a creek or the ditch or something filled with water to get to it. So we will do some research and see if we can find some, but I'm not aware. I don't know that unless the squad truly pulled right up on it and faced into the ditch that we'd have any camera views.
The area that it happened, were there, can you explain what that looked like? Is this a rural area? Is this a heavily trafficked area?
Well, Highway 50 is a heavily trafficked area, but it sounds like at the split second of the accident, there weren't a lot of cars right where it happened, because we didn't have any witnesses that stopped and said, I saw it happen. The witnesses that came across and gave us statements saw the pickup truck driving recklessly before, but didn't actually see the accident. Highway 50 is a very well-traveled road. At 6:45 at night on Highway 50, it theoretically could have been a very busy road, but I think if someone else would have seen it, they would have stopped. I know that people stopped shortly after, tried to render aid, made calls, made 911 calls, but it's a heavily traveled road.
It's down in cattails. How far did this collision wash the Jeep away from the crash?
Oh my goodness. I have not seen measurements yet. I was there, And it was, I'm trying to picture exactly, I remember when I started to see fluids on the road and kind of seeing it was probably 100 yards, so it was several hundred feet from the point of collision to where the vehicle ended up in the ditch, or it down into the swamp, truthfully.
Can you tell us who had seatbelts on?
I don't know who had seatbelts on. It's probably listed in the accident report, but I don't know that.
Any idea if the suspect will be released from the hospital today?
That's up to the hospital. As soon as the hospital does release him, we'll be taking him into custody and bringing him here to the sheriff's department and keeping, he'll be here in our custody.
What kind of information are you looking for from potential witnesses?
When I got to the scene, even our investigator said, this isn't a real hard accident to figure out what happened. I did not see the vehicles. I'm an accident reconstructionist myself, so what I'm going to assume is that what they saw was the back of the Jeep was pretty well collapsed full, and the pickup truck was, I heard severe damage to the front of the pickup truck and to the back of the Jeep. So my thought is that the Rizzo family was driving like any family would, coming home from a fish boil on a Friday night, talking to each other, having fun, enjoying their company, and out of the clear blue, probably never even saw a truck coming up on them at 100 miles an hour. And I don't remember seeing any swerving in the road, on the concrete road, like the pickup truck was trying to avoid a collision. I don't remember seeing any black marks prior to the accident. I don't remember seeing any. So my guess is he was driving in the exact same lane as the Jeep, ran it straight ahead of.
What lane was that, the left lane or right lane?
Let's see if I got. The fluids were in both lanes.
Really? And the other question I had was the 100 mile per hour estimate, if that came from witnesses just prior to the crash, maybe?
I was given that number as an estimate from the State Patrol. Of course, the investigation is still going on. They would need to do a crash analysis, an impact. They'd have to crush analysis from the two vehicles to properly do that. But my guess is the Rizzos were probably doing about highway speed, and they were probably about 55 miles an hour is my guess, and the other vehicle to create the damage and have be doing substantially higher.
So that number came, like I said, came from the State Patrol?
Yep.
Do you know what kind of injuries the suspect has and when you're anticipating he may be released from the hospital, if you guys have been given that information about?
It's possible this week. I was told it's possible this week. And I don't know what kind of injuries he has.
Do we know from the brother just where the suspect was coming from? I mean, I heard a reference to ATV riding. Do we know how long he'd been on the road, or?
It wasn't that far. If I remember correctly from the reports that I read, it was in Kenosha County. He'd left there just a short while earlier, and I think I said that they were out riding ATVs and they were shooting pellet guns, and I guess not an unusual day for people who live out in the county. And the brother said he may have been drinking alcohol.
Is there anything you need from the public other than witnesses maybe coming forward that's all this?
The only thing I can think of is when I talked to the Rizzo family this morning, they really asked not to be bothered by, they know that everybody is mourning the loss of family, but their main focus right now is to get their three relatives, whether it be their father, uncle, aunt, and mother, get them buried this week and go through that. That's their main focus. Like I said earlier, they didn't even want to know the suspect's name. They didn't want to know if this was someone that they knew, or they didn't want to put any of what's left of their strength into trying to figure out who this person is, and so they're working on burying family first. So if anyone out there happened to see the accident, that would be beneficial to us, but we think from the evidence at the scene, and we're pretty sure, we know what happened. We know what happened.
Do you know the type of doctor that Michael Rizzo is offhand?
I would think I was told by, I believe Michael is a general practitioner, if I remember correctly, from family. And Vincent is a dentist. And Mary is a registered nurse. So,
Do you know if they were all retired?
I don't know that.
What year was the Jeep, the victim's Jeep?
2016.
So it would have had airbags, side airbags.
I don't know, Grand Cherokees have airbags in the side. CJs probably don't, right? That's a guess on my part, I don't even know. All right, if there's nothing else, thank you.